So this next problem, when we're trying to balance chemical equations, is HCl is hydrochloric acid, NaOH is sodium hydroxide. They react together to produce sodium chloride, which is salt, and water. So I'm going to get myself some workspace. And this is a kind of tricky one, and I want to show you why. When I start working on this, I notice that I have H, hydrogen, in two different places on the same side of the arrow. And so I need to ask myself the question, does that matter? Do I count them together or do I count them separately? Remember, all we're trying to show is that everything that exists before the reaction takes place continues to exist after the reaction takes place, and you really don't care that they're not in the same formula. So we count these H's together for this process. So when we start doing this, we will say that we have hydrogen 2 times on the left-hand side of this equation. We go over here and look, we have hydrogen 2 times on the right-hand side of the equation. We're golden so far. We have chlorine 1 time on the left, we have chlorine 1 time on the right. We have sodium 1 time on the left. Notice I'm just going one element at a time. We have sodium 1 time on the right. We have O 1 time on the left. We have O 1 time on the right. You get to the end of this and you say, hey, wait a minute. Everything is already the same. I don't have to do anything extra to this. So what's the answer? The answer in this case is that all of these blanks remain empty. In other words, all of these blanks hold an understood 1. If your teacher wants you to write 1s, you can, but it's not necessary. It should be understood if the blank is left empty. So there was nothing to do on this because all of the elements already had exactly the same amount before and after. And the trick to this, remember, was that the hydrogens, even though they were in separate formulas on the left-hand side of the arrow, because they're both on the left-hand side of the arrow, you count those hydrogens together when you count. So last one is on here. This is potassium chlorate, decomposes to produce potassium chloride and oxygen. So let's go one more time through this. You make work ahead of me if you want to. I'll just work through and talk while I go. So I'm going to write down my formulas in my workspace. I'm going to divide the workspace in half underneath the arrow, and I'm going to copy all of the formulas exactly as they are so that I'll have some formulas to work with and to play with in my workspace. So then I go through one element at a time and ask myself, is that already balanced? Do I need to do anything because of that element? Potassium, K, it's already balanced, 1 and 1. Chlorine, Cl, it's already balanced, 1 and 1. Oxygen, I have 3 oxygens on the reactant side. I have 2 oxygens on the product side. And after you've done this a while, you may notice a problem like this, and you may realize that in order for these 2 oxygen amounts to come out the same, you're going to have to find the least common multiple of 3 and 2, because you can only do the right-hand side in multiples of 2, and you can only do the left-hand side in multiples of 3. So that may help you hurry up and get there. This means you're going to have oxygen 3 times on the left-hand side to make 6 oxygens, and you're going to have all of KClO3 twice on the left-hand side to get 6 oxygens. And remember, I cannot just throw down 6 oxygens. I have to repeat the whole formula as many times as necessary to get the balance right. I cannot just repeat part of the formula. It has to be the whole formula. You cannot change the formulas in these things just to suit your needs. So I have KClO3 twice, and I have oxygen repeated 3 times on the right-hand side. Now, my K's and my Cl's have gotten messed up because of the oxygens, so let's go revisit them. Now I have K twice. I need K twice on the right-hand side. So I will repeat KCl, the whole formula, because I have to repeat all of what's here. and that will give me K's twice and Cl's twice on the right-hand side to match what's on the left-hand side. Now, the whole thing is balanced. You can double check by just recounting everything, but to finish it out, to get the right answer, you have to put the numbers of the coefficients in the blank. 2 for the KClO3, 2 for the KCl, potassium chloride, and 3 for the oxygen gas. And I hope this is helpful. That's a process that you will get faster at. Eventually, you probably won't have to do all this work down here. You'll just be able to see it. But it takes a while to get there, and until then, I suggest something like this.